The last time we heard from Lincoln Riley coming off USC's game against Utah, there were some injuries to some impact players. Of course, Jordan Addison, Eric Gentry, Shane Lee. Do we know anything because they were listed at that point as day-to-day?
Yeah, thanks, Frank. See, important point. They've been listed as day-to-day, and that their injuries were deemed not severe, not long-term. Lincoln Riley said that, a few days after the Utah game. So they're day-to-day, but we're recording the show Monday night, and they have not been cleared to play against Arizona. So that tells you that, even if their injuries are not severe and long-term, well, they're probably not ready to play, or at least they're not 100%. And what does that mean? That means that, because it's Arizona and not a much more daunting opponent, rest them. And of course, you'll be able to rest them against Cal and Colorado for sure if there's still any lingering doubt. It's all about getting healthy for the UCLA game. I mean, one would like to think that with Mario Williams and Taj Washington and your other receivers and tight ends, that you can handle Arizona. And really, so in terms of Jordan Addison in particular, that's not a really big concern. It's much more about the defensive side of the ball with Eric Gentry, the plays he makes, the deflections he makes in the passing game, getting into passing lanes. Like that's a much bigger absence. And of course, Gentry played against Arizona as an Arizona State Sun Devil. So, it'd be great to have him on the field in this game. But next man up, you need Shane Lee. You need your other players who, it's been a rough 2 weeks, I'm sure, in the film room with Alex Grinch, and getting more guys to contribute, getting more guys to, participate and perform at a higher level. Like, one of the things that's worth talking about, Mark, kind of related to USC's injury situation on defense specifically, Lincoln Riley mentioned several players who he said were close to stepping up and making contributions. So like they're getting a little bit better on the practice field, but he's not ready to say like, okay, they're ready to go. They're ready to contribute for us. He said they're close. Was that a motivational ploy? Or was it a true evaluation, which points to progress for those players? We don't know. I mean, obviously, there's some motivation there, certainly trying to get them to arrive at a point where they are productive members of the defense. Corey Foreman was on that list. So, that was the eye grabber, and USC can really, really, really use him stepping up in this home stretch. So, if Gentry can't play against Arizona, well, okay, if Corey Foreman plays and makes an impact, all right, that's significant value. That's a significant presence. USC's linebackers are really thin right now. So if you have a pass rush that can get to Jayden de Laura, that can really bother and rattle him, well, then linebackers in pass coverage becomes less of a concern. The secondary, which got roasted and toasted by Utah and Cam Rising and Dalton Kincaid, becomes less of a concern. Pass rush is the number one key to this game because, again, Jayden de Laura going off and having a great game, that's really Arizona's only path to victory. Jayden de Laura just going bonkers, that's the only way Arizona can win. This is not going to be a game where Arizona holds USC under 30. USC is going to score over 40. That's pretty much a lock. Arizona's given up exactly 49 points in 3 of its last 4 games. Exactly. So you think that USC can score a very high number. It's just all about, does the defense do, a reasonably good job? Doesn't have to be spectacular, but does have to do enough. And that's most likely to come from the pass rush, which, you start with Tuli Tuipulotu, but if you can get Corey Foreman as a second, third contributor with the pass rush on that defensive front, that certainly increases the margin for error and is going to make life easier for everybody on the USC defense.